Free will is now available for any donation of any amount. I made it available and I've put the page up so you can go to the description of this video or link in the bio if you're on Instagram or wherever you are. Click the link and then it'll take you to the place where you'll be able to check out a sample of Free Will, and then click on the link, download, what is it, donate to download, put in whatever amount you want. Then after that, a page will pop up that will take you to a place where you'll be able to put in your name and your email. Then it'll give you to the next step. Now look, I'm doing something different. I created a soulful jazz YouTube channel, so you need to subscribe to that. And those are playlists on that channel that you can listen to, like an hour or more long, so that you can enjoy throughout your day, at night, or whenever you're chilling. You can just listen to my music, one song after another, depending on the mix that you choose, okay? But once you subscribe to that channel, then the next step will pop up where you'll be able to download the full-length track to Free Will, okay? So your donation, by the way, is going to go towards the production of new music. I got two more tracks right now at this point that are good to go, that are ready to go. But this is just the first of many. So if y'all support and y'all enjoy the music that I release, and get more people are downloading Free Will, then you best believe I'm gonna be working to put that right back into production for new music to give to you. So you're gonna really dig this track. Wendell Mosley, good friend of mine, songwriter. It's actually his song. I played it, and then my man Jermaine Morgan actually produced it. And John Jones is playing drums on it, from Louisiana, my good buddy. We went to college together. I'm doing vocoder on the EWI. I'm playing EWI. I'm playing sax, all the saxophones, alto, soprano, and tenor. And it's a really beautiful song. It's eclectic, it's different. My man Jay Bryan is also rapping on there. So check out Jay Bryan. He has his own albums and stuff like that. So this is a really good message. It's a really good song, and I think that you'll really enjoy it. Okay, thank you so much for your support. Look forward to you getting the track and enjoying it. All right, peace. What up, y'all? What's going on? How's everybody doing out there in YouTube, Facebook land, all of that good stuff? I wanted to say thank you for those that have already purchased or actually put in a donation for Free Will. Um, Thank you so much for your support. And, you can still hit the link that I have in the description area, or remember to go to QuamonFowler.com/free will and make a donation of any amount that you want. And then it's going to give you a download of the track. Now, what I'm doing with this, I'm always trying different things. And I also I put the track Free Will inside of Texas Tenor Academy. So we do have people who are members of Texas Tenor Academy, and those people who are members have access to performances, video performances, as well as educational material that I have on various topics of jazz improvisation and music business and marketing for musicians and stuff like that. So that's all inside of TexasTenorAcademy.com. But for those that just want my music, the performances, and the new releases, then you can get that through the Q Streams section of my website. And if you don't have it already, make sure you download my app, Quamon Fowler app, because inside the app I do have everything just laid out for you there. And so Q Streams is in there. All right, so just trying to, try some different things before it is released on all of the streaming platforms. And this is just a way for those people who appreciate what I do here at Texas Tenor Music. You can support the whole mission, because I'm all about creating music that will be a blessing to you, that will touch your heart and soul. So that's my angle. That's my aim. Let me see how that sounds. So, yeah, I'm using my phone here. I think I left my headphones in the house, but this is a shedding and sharing session. So, what I usually do is practice a little bit, and then I'll share a little bit of what I'm working on and everything. Because here, I don't know where you're watching. You could be on Facebook or you could be on my YouTube channel. But what I like to do is to give you some updates on what's going on, gigs that's coming up, also things that I might be working on in terms of recording. So sometimes I'll record, lay down some saxophone or iwi on something, or sometimes I'll write a song or come up with an arrangement to a Christmas song like I've done last week or so, a couple weeks ago. So it's just kind of open to however I'm inspired, and I share it with you. And I'll share tips. I'll share some insights on being an entrepreneurial musician or DIY musician. I mean, do-it-yourself musician, and kind of give some insight on the whole process and the journey. So, yeah, just trying to continue to keep it up. Right now, I have the alto out, and what I've been doing here is trying to, share more videos like on the YouTube Shorts, and then Instagram, just of me practicing and going over different things. Um, but yeah, so that's where I'm at. I have my alto today because my tenor is packed up. I didn't take it out, so I practice on the alto today. And let's see here. Do y'all have any requests? I'm gonna pull up the chat and see if y'all have anything in particular that you would want me to go over. All right. So this is the time to put in any requests, and then I'll make sure. We'll see if I can address those. And I'm trying to pull up the chat so I can see you if you put anything in the chat on YouTube, and I got my phone. If you do put in chat, send a message through Facebook. So that is open. Oh, Ernest, what's going on? He said, love your music. I appreciate you, Ernest. What's going on? So we got Judy Bell. What's going on? Oh, yeah, you love his return. Awesome. Awesome. Okay. So he likes his return. I just updated my computer. I'm proud of myself. I put in two 8 gigs of RAM extra in the slots in the back, and it was pretty simple. I just YouTubed it and just took the back off, and I ordered. Let me tell you something. So I actually called up a local Mac store. It wasn't the Apple store. It was another store in town that we have. They're certified to work on Macs. And so I called them up and I asked them what would it cost to get some memory, the 8 gig memory that you just pop right in. I have 2 open slots. I had 2 open slots open. And so I asked them what would it cost. They said $99 a piece. So that would have been $200. Then to put them in would have been another $30. So you're talking about $230. Guess what I did? I got I called Apple and I found out exactly what 8 gig slots, well, 8 gig memory I needed, and I got the specs and everything. Looked it up on Amazon. They were like 29 a piece. I got two of them, and then they got here in a couple of days. So you're talking about $30 that I paid. Well, $60 that I paid, and then I looked it up on YouTube how to put it in, popped it right off, just popped them right in there, pushed them down, put it back on there, and boom, it was fine. So I cut instead of paying $60, instead of paying $230, I only paid $60 to do it. And my computer is good. I went ahead and upgraded it to Monterey, so I had to you know get new drivers for my Apollo, but it seemed to be everything's cool now. Cause y'all remember sometimes I would have problems trying to stream and record or go to Logic and run it at the same time. So, but I'm good to go there. Praise God for that. Now, let me do something. I'm gonna turn down my let's see here. Okay, cool. So I wanted to play a little bit, practice a little bit. That's what this is all about, shedding and sharing. So I'll shed a little bit, then I'll share a little bit. So what's up to everybody on YouTube? Don't be shy. Say what's up. I can see the comments as they pop up. Let me know who you are and where you from, where you chiming in from, so I can give you a shout. All right. So let's make sure that this sound is not too loud when I play the alto, because I'm right here. I'll look at it. I got my thing up here, so I'll let's see here. Check 1 2. Check 1 2. There we go. All right, I'm gonna switch. Hey, somebody said they like in his return. So let's see if I can play. I don't know. I haven't played it on alto. I don't know if the sound is going to be right here or if I even have my play along. Let me see if I can get something. Oh no, I don't have that. I don't have my stuff set up to play my music um, so that y'all can hear it real good from using my phone, because I had to rearrange some stuff. So I don't want to waste a lot of time trying to find that. So I'll have to do that another time. All right, let me switch my. All right, so let me talk some stuff through here. I'm gonna practice on some things. What I've been doing is practicing. Lately, I was practicing with a student of mine, a drummer, and we was going over tunes. We did like My Shining Hour. I did it in B major, which is a half step up from the key that actually for yeah, it's a half step down. I did it. Normally it's in C major, but I did it in C sharp. Uh, well, on tenor, it was C sharp. So, but what else did we practice on? I practiced. ornithology with another student, and I was telling him about how you want to outline your changes with the scales. You know, some people ask me like, how do you apply? Um, um, Really, when you improvise, is it scales or arpeggios? And it's really a combination of linear lines, which is like basically stepwise movement. And I'm gonna give you an example. It's like stepwise moving through the changes. Then you got arpeggios, which is every other note. 1 3 5 or 2 2 4 6. 3 5 7. Those are arpeggios. It's like um, you're doing a chord instead of a piano. You can play you know thirds apart. And play a whole chord. 4 or 5 notes. And so on saxophone, what we have to do, we can't play 2 notes at a time, so we have to outline it by doing an arpeggio or playing through um, the scale linearly. So yeah, so you have a combination of those two things. So scales, or let's say linear lines, and then arpeggios, and then you have enclosures and some chromaticism. So enclosures is basically where you're usually below and above the note. It's like you're targeting a note that you want to land on. So if I was to do it, C, a concert, and do a 2 note enclosure, it'll be, you know, that's a half step below and there's a whole step above, then I land on my note. So if we would look at that rhythmically, it'd be like 4 and 1. Or you could put a half step below and above. So it just depends on what sound you want to emphasize. So let me give you an example of an enclosure tied to a linear line. So I did a enclosure right there on the C. And that's just 1 2 3 5. So now I can add a arpeggio to the end of that to outline a C major 7. So see, so you have an enclosure to start it. You got a linear line, and then I tied on to the end arpeggio. So that's the enclosure, and then we go. That's arpeggio, and if we're doing arpeggio starting from the third. All right, so that's a connect. How can I say? I'm putting labels on a you can say a bebop line or a lick, or improvised idea. You know what I'm saying? I'm putting labels on it. That's just so it can help you kind of navigate through constructing ideas. Initially we transcribe. What happens in the process when you don't know how to speak, just like a baby or anybody learning a new language, you have to imitate first. And a lot of times when you imitate, you technically or even theoretically don't know all of the rules, but you're imitating. You're imitating, and then over time, it'll rub off on you. You'll just remember that it's just certain things that are normal or like normally stated in in a particular language of a particular group, or in jazz, you have a particular language, colloquialisms that exist in that particular form of music or style of music. You know what I'm saying? So when you talk about jazz improvisation and bebop language, people like Charlie Parker, Dizzy Gillespie, Sonny Stitt, Cannonball, Sonny Rollins, all of these guys, um, Clifford Brown, they had a language. And so what we do, what I did coming up, I had to study their language, their vocabulary. And I didn't categorize it even back then like how I'm categorizing it now. But of course, in hindsight, you have 2020. So in hindsight, you can uh, put a label on things so that you can communicate and explain it to others. So that's the whole point in pedagogy or teaching. As a teacher, you have to have a way to communicate to others so that they understand. And so my system is pretty simple. I categorize it like a technique side and a concept side. So on the technique side, you got all of the things like scales, arpeggios, getting your sound together, articulation, having good time and practicing with a metronome. That's all technical stuff. Being able to play the notes at the bottom of the horn and then the notes at the top. Practicing to have a good sound and technique, embouchure, all of that breathing and all of that kind of stuff. That's all technical. And on the other side, you got the concept. The concept comes from the music that you like to listen to. You got people who were raised hearing a certain type of music, and so the type of music that you heard growing up, the environments that you were in, really shapes the way you hear music, your perception of music, or the way that you would express yourself. It comes from that place of what you listen to a lot coming up and what the music is that you like right now. Then you can break it down into specifics like who were the artists that you were influenced by, the music songs that you heard, what was the style, and you want to kind of nail down these genres, the artists, the songs, and then from there you have certain songs that you like or you wanted to learn how to play or you played, and so you can dig in deeper to the specifics of that particular song. So for example, for me coming up, it was Sonny Rollins was a big influence. Johnny Griffin was, Cannonball Adderley was, Stanley Turrentine was, Joshua Redmond. So what I would do, Branford Marsalis, James Carter. So what I would do, we would start with blues first because blues was something that you could find all of them playing a blues, and so I would start with the blues and just learn their lines, licks, and transcribe from all of the different. It's a big archive of music, especially today. You can just YouTube most of this stuff and find a blues. Cannonball Adderley playing a blues, or Sonny Stitt playing a blues, Clifford Brown playing a blues. You know what I'm saying? So you can kind of start there, for instance. And once you get the blues gets you the call and response element, because that's at the basis of jazz, blues, gospel, rhythm and blues, gospel, jazz is like, at the roots of all of music, like American music, you know what I'm saying? So that whole call and response element you need to understand because that's going to help you to construct your ideas. You know what I'm saying? It's not random. Everything that we play has to, we try to connect it to something that came before it. So if I give you an example, if I play, I'm going to play a blues and C. Flintstones. Uh, anyway, I'm just freestyling. This is playing over C major blues, and so the thing about that now, let me give you because I talked about call and response. So of course this is 2022, and I was born in 1980, and so when I came up, what my experience was coming up in a black neighborhood, in Texas, Fort Worth, Texas. My exposure coming up first was um, church music, gospel music, 80s, a lot of hymns. I heard at church choir songs with the organ and drums, and so that was my experience. Then of course, um, on the radio, what was it called? We had cable, and the videos that came on back then, would show uh, hip hop stuff, hip hop, R&B. The black radio stations here. So I heard a lot at the time. All the poppy stuff, especially at the time NWA, rap, and I'm trying to think of the artists and stuff. Oh, Whitney Houston, that was '90s. Um, but that was all in there. I'm trying to think of artists, but that I would just hear whatever came on the radio, popular stuff, right? Oh, let me talk about this because smooth jazz radio was big around then, like in the '80s and '90s. So I heard my mom liked to watch Young and the Restless. So Dave Coz, da 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 da, boo doo be doo boo dee da, that song. And what else? I heard the Oasis. So a lot of Kenny G. I learned of Najee. Of course, Kirk Whalum, Gerald Albright. So all of that was at the root or the core, what you can say, the base of what the music that I heard. I didn't get into jazz and hearing jazz really until I was a teenager. And oh, I'm sorry, I've been missing all the good messages over here on YouTube. What's going on? I'm sorry, I can hear it popping in here. What's up? New Orleans in the house. What's up, Nakia from New Orleans? What's up? I'm not gonna lose my spot either. I got from Atlanta. What up, Mike T? What up, Samuel? I want to know you more. So let's see here. I got something popped up in the way. Like, uh, okay, on WhatsApp. Okay, Samuel. My name is Samuel. Okay, I play the saxophone. Great, excellent. Welcome. All right, appreciate it. Glad you enjoy the classes. Awesome. So, but anyway, so I was exposed to the smooth jazz, the rap music, hip hop stuff, R&B stuff, church, the typical black experience. And so, but once I got into jazz and I started hearing Charlie Parker, John Coltrane, Like I said, Sonny Rollins, Cannonball. I found a whole world of really deep music and educated musicians who had a deep vocabulary. And so I wanted to get a better understanding of that vocabulary. And I'm like many of you, I didn't understand what was going on beyond the melody. Uh, yeah. So you said he wanted to understand about improvising with jazz, and so uh, yeah. So what up, Lenny? So yeah, so I didn't understand it. You know, it sounded like a bunch of gibberish beyond the melody. You can follow a melody, you know, you can follow a melody, but you need to tell me what's going on after that. So I didn't understand. So what I would do is just dive in and start learning stuff. And even though I didn't understand, I started learning. Of course, I had a teacher who would help me break down what was going on from transcribing different uh, musicians from Sonny Stitt to Gene Ammons, Charlie Parker, and basically with the help of someone kind of helping me through the process, stuff started to stick. I had I played a competition back in what was that, '94, and I did Yardbird Suite. Mm. Now I'm kind of playing it slow because I hadn't played it on alto. That's probably like the first time I played it on alto. I have to play it in the key of A here, but on tenor I play it in the key of D. But that was one of the first tunes I learned. Actually, it wasn't one of the first tunes I learned. It was just a song that I really worked on. What I did, I pulled ideas from um, Joshua Redman's St. Thomas that was on the Live at the Village Vanguard. And then I pulled ideas from, of course, Sonny Rollins' St. Thomas. And then I incorporated an intro to take me into Yardbird Suite. And then I learned some solos probably from, I remember I used to listen to Jerry Mulligan. He had a version of Yardbird Suite. Of course, I took ideas from Charlie Parker. And so I was just learning all these lines and licks and kind of incorporating it into the song. And I would make up my own licks and lines. And so when I did the competition, I just played all the stuff that I would come up with. What is the difference between jazz, bebop, and smooth jazz? Man, it's a big difference. The question was, what's the difference between jazz, bebop, and smooth jazz? It's like it's like, you know, jazz is more um, conversational and improvised music, where smooth jazz tends to be more programmed music, um, you know, with not as much back and forth interaction between the the musicians from the standpoint of spontaneously creating on the spot. Like it's a format. It's more so like instrumental pop. You know, it comes from a place of, you know, the motive is different. The goal in jazz bebop or the tradition of jazz is to create something spontaneously together. We start with a melody that presents, um, the melody is stated in the beginning, and then after that, it's totally up to the soloist to improvise and kind of create a composition on the spot. And the bass player, the drummer, and the piano player are looking to um, help facilitate, what is created in the moment spontaneously. But for smooth jazz comes from the influence of pop music, um, to where you're just playing the same type of popular music but with an instrument. And so in popular music, you don't really have too much improvisation, like that. You might have like 8 bars of a solo, but it's more so like a program, a set type of um, musical presentation, you know. And each one is a different discipline, and the thing about a person like Kenny G, when he became popular in the '80s, uh, he found he actually the whole term smooth jazz radio or smooth jazz as a genre kind of came from him. Like his music, the music that he put out, Songbird and different popular tunes of his, was more so a music that was used in for people in the corporate world that needed some music that wasn't too busy, so that they could work in the office. And so that was a new format presented. And so, of course, that's money. That's big money when music can be played in hotels or at a corporation where people at a desk, working and it's not too busy. People can work, or they can play the music on the subway at the end of day. So when people get off the subway, they can kind of get an easy going type of music that'll soothe them. So it was to serve a certain purpose. But jazz comes from the tradition of exploration and spontaneous creativity. So it's just a different motive, a different aim. So, but I would say, um, you know, pop. What's popular is what's popular. Most people are not going to understand jazz, and it's not the popular music right now. Pop music is popular. Pop music or music with not as much improvisation, music with not as much chords. That's that's going to be easily accessible or understandable to people. And then once you bring commerce into it, or make the opportunity to make money, then that really changes the whole goal and focus too, especially for individual artists, because you can fit a format. And I'm gonna make the comparison here in a second to even something else, but if you can find a sweet spot of what sells. So for instance, what people do in pop music is they'll look at the top songs on Billboard, and they'll listen to them, figure out what the tempo is, what's the key, the chords. Usually like 4 chords, two, 3, 4 chords, and or maybe one a lot of times, and you'll have your verse, your chorus, your verse, your chorus, type format, and might have like a little loop at the end, reprise or something like that. And it's a format so that, it basically is a format that the majority of people are used to, And so a lot of times people will just look at what's popular, and then they'll just recreate something that sounds like what's popular. So the whole aim and goal is different. It's more so for money, for making money, you know. But I was going to say too, I was going to make this comparison. It's like having a motivational speaker compared to a Bible believing truth preacher, truth preaching preacher. More people are going to connect with a message that's not as offensive or doesn't talk about sin and hell. Of course, more people can connect with that because it's not offensive. But when you preach truth is not something that feels good all the time. People don't want to hear the truth. You know what I'm saying? So the truth is not going to be as popular as something that's more watered down and more general. That's why a lot of motivational speakers and people who are, public speakers, they find that sweet spot that can speak to a majority of people without dealing with a particular religion. Because if we're all human beings, we all go through struggles, and we all need to overcome, our struggles, whether it be in the workplace or within our family or just motivation, self-esteem. So there's a sweet spot that a public speaker can find to speak to everybody that's general without getting too heavy into the spiritual or the truth. It can be more general, and you'll reach more people like that. But if you got somebody who's all about the truth, this is right, this is wrong, then you're gonna cut a lot of people. And same thing with jazz. Like, you can have artists, musicians who are killing, and really, got the talent and got the vocabulary and everything like that. But normally, cats like that, they got too much depth to be accepted by the masses, because people have been, how can I say this? People have been programmed to digest more simple stuff. And even the case can even go into the food, or the health industry. You got people who, everybody's not going to want to be vegan or plant-based diet because it's just not common. It's not as popular as what we would see on TV or what's advertised through the companies who want us to eat burgers and pizza, all the time. You know what I'm saying? So it's more so a thing where if you want the truth, you got to dig a little deeper, or you got to go to the communities or the people who got the real information, and then you get what you can from them so that you can get the real deal. So it's the same thing true of music, same thing true of the gospel or the truth. and then you have the same thing with the food industry, the health industry. You know what I'm saying? You got the masses and this agenda that's tied to making people all believe a certain thing for the purpose on the back end for the big corporations to make money off of the people, to serve, to be able to generate sales and hit whatever their quotas are, But in the midst of all of that, you have, or underneath all of that, is the truth. And so that's why I like or lend myself more to jazz, because it is the truth in the sense of it's improvisation. It's has more depth. It requires you to study, practice, and really work at it so that you can be able to express yourself and have vocabulary. So it's not something that's it just takes some work. Anybody can play an instrument, but everybody can't be really good or have the depth, because it requires a certain type of study. And it's the same thing with anything. Like a speaker or someone, a preacher, you know what I'm saying? You got some preachers who don't want to touch on certain subjects because they don't want they're afraid or they don't want to offend people, or they got certain amount of offerings that they depended on if they don't say nothing about certain areas. And then you got the people who don't care. They're about not compromising and sharing the truth. And those people are going to always not be as popular because we're in a world where they want to capitalize off of our being undisciplined. More people are going to be undisciplined than people who are going to be disciplined. And I've been seeing these pop-ups of on YouTube or Facebook and stuff of talking about Kobe Bryant. And so Kobe Bryant was a basketball player who was dedicated to his craft, and he would practice, wake up in the morning to practice, go in at 4, work out from 4 to 6, come home, take a break, and then go back from 9 to 11, and then come back, take a break, then go back from 11 to 3 or so, come back, take a break, go back and go, 4 to 6 or 7 to 9, something like that. But he would put in the work like year round because he was serious about his craft. And I watched interviews and other basketball players that were saying, Kobe Bryant was just on something else. Like not that many people had that work ethic like him. And that's just how it is. I mean, John Coltrane was like that. Charlie Parker was like that. A lot of the musicians who were the leaders, in jazz and were really good with improvisation, they put in the work, they put in the time. And so that's just a general, it's just like it's a principle across the board. Those people who put in the work, put in the time, you're going to see it reflected in their body of work. And so that's the truth, and it's the same thing with the speaker. Like the ones who study, who put in the work, who have some depth to their message, you're gonna hear the difference. And it's one of those things. Most people are not gonna be disciplined, and a lot of people don't want to hear the truth because it's easier for you to not be accountable. It's easier for you to not be disciplined, for you to just chill. I mean, think about it. If we just went with the flow and just stay watching Instagram all day, or TikTok, or YouTube, or Facebook, and we didn't practice, or if we just went to work, came home, and watched TV, watched Netflix, if you lived that life, then you would turn into whatever they wanted you to turn into, like an undisciplined, consuming citizen. I mean, your mindset would be shaped by them, like your eating habits would be shaped by them. You would think how they want you to think. You would, if you were a musician, you wouldn't have time, or you're not taking the time to really dig deep, because most of the stuff that you hear doesn't have no depth. So you really got to connect to the people who are part of the lineage, who have depth, so that you can get resources for them on what you need to listen to, what you need to learn, how what's the process to even get that depth. You got to stay connected with the folk who got it so you can get it. You know what I'm saying? And so that's a principle across the board that we can all be thinking about. And so we're in a social network or social media heavy influenced time right now. And think about it too on this side. Like social media, like to be honest, like I like it, but at the same time, my foundation, with the foundation that I have, I'm able to put things in the proper place, so that I'm not, I'm not taken advantage of, or I don't get sucked in to the point where I'm being brainwashed or programmed, even though I am being programmed because I have to use my phone. I got to use YouTube and, Facebook, Instagram, and stuff like that because I'm in business. So the way that we connect with our clients and prospects is through, the internet. I mean, people watching now are from all over the world. So it's something that we have to do if you're in business because it's just the way that the nature of things are at this particular point. But I'm saying, but my foundation, because I came up without social media, I took time, hours practicing. I took time even reading and studying. I took time, you know, listening to audio. When we did get Audible, I looked up a bunch of books, audio books to listen to. And so I enjoy studying and I enjoy getting the truth. That goes for spiritual matters, that goes for natural matters from the standpoint of health and also the standpoint of practicing. It's just the way I'm wired. I like stuff with depth and things that are going to be beneficial. And I also like to give people the same thing. I don't want folk to be deceived. I don't want people to not have the truth and the real deal. So, but I was going to say, but the way that social media is and these algorithms and everything, they've making it really easy for you to earn, though. You can earn good money if you're consistent with your content. That's why I've been trying to be more consistent with me sharing stuff. But anyway, I did a whole lot of talking, explaining all of that. All right, I'm looking at the messages. I'm reading this here. He said, this is somebody from Africa. He said, did you Westerners use tonic, soul? I guess he said solfege, and you're playing melodies. No. Well, yeah, we do that. I mean, when I came up, yeah, they do that. They did that, but man, it's just about learning the melodies, especially in church. We just learn the melodies. You learn it comes from the oral tradition. So a lot of that we get from our roots, African roots. So oral tradition. But it's all about what you hear. Let me play something. Let me do another blues. I forgot what key I was in. All right, so let's deal with that. I'm in the uh, I'm in F sharp on the alto. So the F sharp and what that would be the key of A on the piano. So what I'm gonna do to practice this, I'm gonna tell you my process. I'm thinking the changes first. So I'm thinking about that. So it's a seventh chord. Then we go to the four. Twice, on the seventh chord, on the four chord, we're doing it twice. That's the D. Then back to the one. Then we go to the six, the F sharp. So I'm playing six, then 2, 5. Let me see, 3, 6. Sorry, 3, 6, 2, 5, 1. So I'm using a number system. So this is 1. That's 1. 4. 1. 4. 4. 1. Then 6. Then 2. I'm sorry. That was 2. 5. That's 1, 6, 2, 5, 1. So what I would do is come up with some lines over the one chord to connect me into the four chord. Let me see. I'm going to try to do something simple. That ain't simple. That's bebop language, but let me take it back, a couple of errors, so I can deal with the blues. Uh. Anyway, I'm trying to simplify stuff and outline the changes of blues, which is what you need to do initially. So going back to what I was saying earlier, playing the scale. So okay, I was playing the So instead of playing the 6, I can play the 3/6. And then we can go to the B minor. Then we go to the E7. So I'm playing the scales. That's just Mixolydian scales. That's just diminished scale. That's half diminished. Going to an altered scale. So if you want this stuff broken down, you got to get it in. You have to get it inside of Texas Tenor Academy if you want to get deeper into me breaking stuff down. But right now, I'm trying to give you the concept and kind of give you some process, to think about. But I'll slow it down and everything in those videos that are already uploaded in there. Or you can take one-on-one lessons with me. That's in the app too. So just go to the app and schedule a lesson. Just the scale, Dorian minor, then left harp. So now that I have the changes, now I can work on some lines. So check that line right there. And I'm gonna connect it. That idea right there. And right there, all that is a enclosure. So those are two enclosures. Right there, that's the arpeggio. See right there, what is that? That's an arpeggio. That's linear. That's another arpeggio. It's like an enclosure. I forgot it. Man, I just forgot it. Oh, there we go. So that's an enclosure. So I'm navigating through these changes of the blues. So let me try it again. So I'm working out the melodies that I would play, um, just navigating through these changes. But first, I had to go over playing the scales for each. Okay. All right. So now I'm practicing. I'm shedding now because I don't normally play a blues in F sharp. You know, this is F sharp. On the tenor, it would be what, B? Let's see. Get my transposition right. So C sharp. I'm sorry. So yeah, it would be C sharp on a tenor. So what you want to do is work out what the scales are first, and then start coming up with your lines. So your ears, you'll start coming up with stuff. You start hearing stuff. Now, I'm really trying to put it together in F sharp, right? So, it's some work. It's some work. But the thing about it, if I was to scoot it up a half step, my vocabulary would kind of flow a lot better. So now I took it up another half step. So this is, it's just cool to practice on different keys. Playing something that you would normally play in a key that you're comfortable, put it up a half step or down a half step. Just move yourself off balance to where it'll force you to try to play the same ideas in a key that feels a little weird, And it's good stuff to practice. I mean, anytime that I don't know what to practice, I'll always put something in a different key or get on my alto and practice something that I would normally play on tenor and practice it on the alto. And it's always a work in progress. It's always a work in progress. But, if you're playing smooth jazz, it's a lot easier. I don't have to improvise as much, so I can just easily just transpose a song. I don't know. I'm just making up something. Or, it's pentatonic too. A lot of stuff is just pentatonic. Anyway, that's improvisation over blessed assurance. And even with gospel, you still want to outline the chords so that you can play ideas in the spaces. Usually, you state the melody and probably play some ornamentation here and there, but then you can like improvise a little bit, ad lib a little bit in the spaces to go to the next section of the song. All right, y'all, that's it for now. I think that's good stuff. Thank y'all for watching. This is a shedding and sharing session that I do on Monday nights. If you love what I do here on the channel, you're definitely open to support if you so choose. One thing I'm doing is allowing those who want to support the channel, make a donation of any amount. I'm going to send you Free Will, my new single that I've released. You'll get a download right to your computer, or a link right there to your phone and email. What's up? Say, love the tone and dexterity of the smooth jazz play. Okay, appreciate it. Keep playing. Yes, sir. What up, Preen? Yes, I'm done. I'm done for the night. We are finished for the night. But thank y'all for tuning in. So yeah, keep tuning in. I have licks. I have lessons and all of that, more in depth breaking down things inside of Texas Tenor Academy. And Q Streams is also part of Texas Tenor Academy. If you want to get performances from different gigs that I've done and want to get my music that I've released, some of the new stuff that's not released is going to come into Texas Tenor Academy through Q Streams first. So definitely check that out if you so choose. The links are in the description of this video. QuamonFowler.com/free will is the link that you can go to get that single. All right, that's it for now. Thank y'all so much for watching. We'll see you on the next